What is going on YouTube? Hated back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500. And I have an article by Cointelegraph here, which talks about Bitcoin may hit $14,000 in 2022 this year, but buying Bitcoin now as good as it gets, says analysts here. Now, I actually kind of reviewed this article prior to showing you guys this, and to my surprise, we're starting to see a lot of these analysts cover and discuss the topics that we mentioned yesterday. Now, if you watch yesterday's episode on these major cryptos, we talked about Bitcoin specifically back in its previous halving down in 2018, where we saw the major bull run and then we saw a slump to the downside, which lasted quite a long time here. We expect to see a similar reaction to the markets right now, or at least we're starting to experience a similar thing right now as to what happened back in 2018 prior to seeing a bull run. So we might be seeing the lowest points, or we might get very close to retesting the lowest points very soon within crypto. But honestly, whether you buy here or at 14, it's so insignificant that, it's something to think about here. But regardless, we'll talk all about this later on in today's episode. So besides this article here, I do want to look at XRP, which is still floating in its sideways channel, Ethereum, which is also floating in its sideways channel, and also managed to get back inside our descending fractal here, which is somewhat good news. And then Bitcoin, which broke outside of its descending, its sideways channel just 2 or 3 days ago here, but we're still in our descending fractal, which is not good. There's a big chance prices are going to swing back up and retest 31K, or at least consolidate out from what we have now, trade sideways for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, hit this resistance here, and probably get rejected and dump lower, which could send us down to what that article is saying, closer to 14,000, but we'll figure that out later on in today's video. But with that being said, guys, definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's dive into today's episode. Really quick, guys, before we dive into the technical analysis, I've been saying this a lot, so I just want to take, the opportunity here. Now, I did just recently start a new finance channel. Hopefully some of you guys have checked it out, but it's a way to just branch, and open your horizon to other ways of making money. Now, these videos take me a really long time, and I put a lot of effort and energy into gathering the info, reading up about it, and then letting you guys know so you don't have to. So if you want to learn about the Federal Reserve, the economy, ETFs, index funds, stock market, a lot of things not many people know, Roth IRAs and everything, definitely make sure to check this account out. I did link it down in the description. It's my name. You can see here, Hayden Schreier. Now, more importantly, at 1,000 subs, we're 600 away. I am going to be doing a giveaway for some money, so definitely stay tuned for that. Make sure you're a subscriber. But with that being said, diving into the technical analysis into today's video, I just want to read you this article really quickly here. So it says, Bitcoin faces a cycle bottom this year, in which it could drop over 50% from current levels, which is pretty incredible because we're trading at 30K. Another 50% could set us down to $15,000 to $14,000. You could see here it says, based on historical patterns involving Bitcoin's halving cycles, this year should be the bearish black sheep of the current 4-year cycle. This would be the year that we see the lowest point within crypto. And then moving forward, we should start to see prices move back up. We're just trying to find that bottom right now within Bitcoin specifically. And it says, and this is what we mentioned in yesterday's video, just like 2018 in its bear market, Bitcoin should find itself a macro floor at some point in 2022. Whether or not that's where we're currently trading, or whether it was the fact that we hit, 25K, we hit a bottom at 25K. We'll see if that, was it. We'll find out. But you can see here it says, they spelled that wrong. NWH calculating, unless that's right, previous dips from all-time highs. This could be anywhere between 14 and 21,000. There's 670 days until the Bitcoin halving. We are on time to Bitcoin performance comparing to past cycles. In the next 670 days, Bitcoin will capitulate in the next 6 months and hit cycle bottom. So they're saying in the next 6 months, we should see a price hit between 14 and 21K, then chop around in 28 to 40K in most of 2023, and then be at 40K again by next halving. And that's pretty cool. And then the next halving could send us up even higher. I do really like their idea with this, and I do strongly believe that this is true. Once again, the next 670 days, Bitcoin will capitulate in the next 6 months and hit a cycle bottom, which I agree to. We'll probably hit by the end of this year some low point between 14 and 21K. We'll see if that affects the market. Typically, the S&P hasn't done the same thing, like when we had the Bitcoin halving in 2017, 2018, and we saw a dump. After, we didn't see the S&P dump as well. We actually started to swing upwards. But then it goes, then chop around in 28 to 40K most of 2023. So if we see prices go to 14 to 21,000 and we buy in there, a year later, and that's at the end of this year, a couple of months later, we swing back up to 28 to 40K, which I expect to happen. We're doubling our money and then be at 40K again by the next halving in preparation for the halving. The halving happens, we could see $100,000 very easily. Such a prognosis, while not music to the ears of bulls, but I do like the way this sounds, would not be without precedent. After hitting 3,100 in December 2018, Bitcoin managed to recover to $13,800 7 months later. That's huge gains before reversing once again to a bottom of March 2020 lows of 3,600. So we retested it again, pretty similar. Even the 2019 local high was not enough to beat the record high of all time set in December of 2017 at 20,000. That level could yet again become a feature of the spot price chart, venture founder believes. Those willing to ride the waves and invest even now, this is what I'm saying, even now will nonetheless be on the right side of history, which I agree with, because even if you invest now, you don't wait until we're down to 10, 14, 15K, you're still going to be doing very well compared to other people. In other words, buying Bitcoin, and I agree, from this point to the next 6 to 12 months is as good as it gets. Probably the best 3-year % ROI ever, he added. We may not be at the cycle bottom, which I agree with, but we are within range of Bitcoin cycle bottom, and this is the best you can do when timing the market cycles, and I agree with that. Your best bet, too, would be maybe the dollar cost average. You want to do every month for the next 6 months, buying in, $2,000, $1,000, whatever is, comfortable. And if we do decide to dip lower, your dollar cost averaging down, which is a good way to get as close to that market bottom as possible here. So I agree strongly with this. I think this is a really good article. Definitely make sure to check it out, reread it over by William Suberg on Cointelegraph if you're interested in this. But diving into the technical analysis, I agree strongly with everything he said. Top 10 cryptos, we're just consolidating here, zero movement. And I agree, this Bitcoin price is going to affect a lot of the XRP and Ethereum movements here. You can see Bitcoin still inside a descending fractal. We may not break out of this. We could continue to trend downwards here. We could very easily dump down to 20K to 14K here. But even if we do hit a low as 14,000, 15,000, which seems to be a pretty solid support. I'm trying to pull it up here. I mean, maybe not as low as 14, maybe closer to 17 or 18, but regardless, even a correction back down, which will at least be able to short and then also buy the dip, would make out a pretty good run coming the next couple of years. We can base previous history back in 2018 and the halvings to the 2023-2024 halving, which would give us a prime time opportunity to be buying these low points here. Even though people are stressed out and panicking in these markets, buying Bitcoin at $14,000 when it was just at 70 is a great deal. So we do expect to see prices maybe hit this and correct lower. We could easily see that. That's why we're waiting here. We're looking to see how we play out within Bitcoin before we do decide to buy. We could easily break through this resistance here and see a major swing to the upside. So we pull up. We hit this. If we can close above, there's a chance we could recover to 40K. It's very possible. Vice versa, what most likely is going to happen is we're going to hit this, reject. We could short this right here. We could short this down and correct downwards to 28K, move stop losses lower. And there's a big chance we'll break through it and fall even lower. Same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum's back inside its descending fractal here. So same thing applies if we just extend this, and I'll do that now because we've pretty much done that. This is a major resistance. We've been kind of teeter-tottering here. It doesn't look that good anymore, but we are still inside this inside the Bollinger Bands, inside the sideways channel, and inside the descending fractal here. Very similar movement. We could easily kind of trend up and break through and correct, and we'll go from there. But Ethereum's been kind of wonky, so I've been mainly focusing on Bitcoin, XRP, and S&P 500 trades here, because as you can see, Bitcoin is inside a very beautiful sideways channel and descending fractal. Clearly, same thing applies with XRP. XRP, we could put a descending fractal of some sort. I don't know how we want to draw it. Something like this, maybe, could be fairly accurate. It's tough because we don't really. We've been trending above it a few times here, but there's also some sort of downtrend that we were using. It's not as pretty as the Bitcoin one is, but you can see we are in some sort of trend. We could easily reject off this resistance and correct lower. So the real main focus is how do we react with this support? If support is broken, expect to see a dump. Same thing applies with the Bitcoin prices here. If support's broken here, expect to see a dump too. So depending on how conservative you want to be, I'd wait for that. As for the S&P, clearly rejected off this resistance resistance yesterday. We'll see how we open up today. But there's a chance we could start to trend upwards. There's a big chance, especially with the double bottom formation, and especially because we broke outside this descending fractal here. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Definitely make sure to check out my finance channel, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.